There's a customer or two that wanted more towards the grove. I think this is going to end up being more of a Bonniwa, but I'll go ahead and get started. So I have a Boulevard Cypress, 3 of them, and then a multi planting of the Japanese maple. So anyway, I don't have the time to go through each step, but I'll go ahead and do this as a before and after shot. Okay, so this is your before. This project, why don't we use that soil? Remember the one that I said you could go down to your local nursery or garden center and pick up a bag of their potting soil? So basically this is just a commercial potting soil that I added my lava rock. So I was saying that we should try it out. So this project, we will go ahead and use this and then complete this project. Okay, so that's what I did. I'm using a shallow mica pot. I just put the screen in place and I shall get started. Okay, so I got these more or less placed in place. You know, people say, you know, isn't that awful shallow? Well, you know, these shallow trays, we put the mound, so there's a lot of soil in there, so don't worry about that. So at least this is sort of getting started here, okay? Okay, I got it this far. 3 Boulevard Cypresses and a pre-May multiple planting Japanese maple. Well, it's a good thing I'm calling this before and after. I can't get this finished because I don't have enough moss. This year's been really hot and dry, so we didn't have much moss. But the good news is maybe in a week or 2 weeks, we shall have rain. And at that point, I shall have moss. So, okay, so this is the end of the before shot, and then we'll have the after when I'm able to get the moss. But what I'm thinking is right through here will be a stream. I could put the gravel in place, but it's better to do that last. So I'm going to wait a week or 2 weeks whenever we get some decent moss, and I'll finish it up. Okay, so this was the before, and you gotta wait. Well, this was the Bonniwa I was working on a couple weeks ago. I was trying to, well, I had it done, but remember, I have to wait for the moss. So finally, the moss was so ready. I wish I could get more, but the rain just started, and I was able to get just enough so I could wrap this chapter. Anyway, to our right is Japanese maples, and to our left, the grouping of 3 is Boulevard Cypress. Go ahead and spin this around. Now, I think I told you before, the Boulevard Cypress need to get about twice the height. I wanted that side to be the dominant, but I couldn't get a big one to fit in because the root, what happens is when you grow bigger material, the root ball gets too big, and then you can't get this closeness, right? Versus the one on the current left, the maple, I grew them in one pot, so I could do it like that. And so, you know, to do a really good grove or a forest or a Bonniwa, you really do need to prepare your materials in advance. Now, this one here, by next year, the Boulevard Cypress should be at least twice that height. And then we'll start to put the shape in place. So they'll be tall, but it'll be 3 different sizes. The one in the back should be the tallest, and then on the left, the Boulevard Cypress, that one will be next, and then the smaller one closer to the maple. So that's how we have to do the groves because of the root ball. So this is more or less like eye level. I'm gonna switch the tripod so we could get a more aerial view. But I'll go ahead and let you see this one more time before I switch the camera angle. You know, I've been doing my drone and it's been tough. Well, I don't have time to do it all the time. So it seems like every time I'm using it, it's brand new all over again. But here in the studio, I could make the table go up and down and the cameras go up and down. So as soon as we get to the front again, I shall switch, not the camera, but the camera angle. So the front is coming up about now. Okay, with the camera angle higher, you could start to see the layout better, right? So let me go ahead and turn on the turntable so you could see the whole thing. Okay, so this is more like an aerial view. Oh, you know, I told you I was in the landscape architect program in college, and we used to have to make these models using cardboard stacked on each other to represent the grade, you know, the mounds and things like that. And we had to go look for branches to simulate trees. So for me, this one is so much easier using live plants. And the rocks, well, in those days, we didn't have rocks. We couldn't make rocks. I don't know why, we just never did. But anyway, I met Mr. Kawamoto. I think I talked about him and his psyche. And with the workshop I had with him and Mr. Kumai, I learned, wait a minute, we could do this live. Yeah, so it finally dawned on me to really come up with this concept. Much easier than it was in college or even landscape, because you know some of these rock represents a large boulder, right? So in a real landscape, it could be a 2-ton, 3-ton rock, and that's not real easy to move around. So anyway, I've always liked landscape, and then I think that chance meeting with Mr. Kawamoto really made it really easy for me to start to visualize, and just enough knowledge from him to get going. So anyway, we're going to be coming around the front again, and then I think we'll call it the end. So this was well, this is more of a Bonniwa than a grove, because in a typical bonsai grove, we don't mix plants. But in Bonniwa, since I made it up, it has no rules, so we could do anything we want. Okay, so as this comes around the front, I'm going to say, so as we look for the last time, to our left are the 3 Boulevard Cypresses, and I want them taller, about twice the height. And then to our right, the maples, I want it to stay about the same size, except thicker trunk and better defined branching. So I think by next year and then the year after that, this will look really good. And if it's still here, I will show you what I was talking about. But a lot of times when I make these landscape, it's so popular, it's gone. So if it's still here, I will show you. If not, sorry. Anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. I'll see you again real soon in another chapter.